The Crash mobile game actually has a bunch of references and Easter eggs to past Crash games, so let's talk about it.
Whoa!
What's up guys, Canadian Guy here, and back with a brand new video. So the other day was a busy day for me as we had a soft test launch of the new Crash Bandicoot mobile game. I've been playing it a lot and actually been having a pretty good time with it. But shockingly, there was some really interesting stuff in the game that refers to Crash's past and possibly to his future. Let's go over all the different references and analyze them. First up, we got the very first mini boss you have to fight, the Nitro Ant. Now, it does look different from the original source material, but the themes of the villains thus far have been related to Nitro or Frost. These are so far the only elements that have been used for this test launch, as more will likely come in the future. But the Nitro Ant has design elements that relate back to the Robo Ants that we saw back in Twinsanity. We also see a Nitro Crab, which is pretty interesting because the crab is the very first enemy Crash defeats in the original game. So to see both of these creatures in this form is kind of interesting. Now, these mini bosses are a part of Scorporilla's gang, which shocked me when I saw her again, as she is a mutant from the Radical Games era. For those who only played the originals, Crash got tattoos and could mind control giant creatures. It was a weird time. But nonetheless, to see Scorporilla, a creature that Crash mind controlled as one of the bosses, blew my mind. I'm still shocked that we actually have some form of a modern design for her. But the Mind Over Mutant and Crash the Titans references don't stop there. In the overworld map, we can actually see remnants of what seems to be the Doominator, which was the giant robot that Coco disables at the end of Crash the Titans and shows up in the overworld in Mind Over Mutant. To see this in a similar fashion in this game is a really awesome and interesting nod to the previous games in the past. Now, if you want to tell me that this is not the Doominator, I got some bad news for you. To upgrade your lab and other parts from your island, you have to go on collection runs, and on these collection runs, you can find these mechanical pieces and parts. When you hover over the description for them, they say, quote, alpha part, leftover parts from a destroyed Neo Cortex Doominator. Boom. There it is. The Doominator is confirmed. But this leads us to our next interesting reference, which is actually a mistake in terms of lore. One of the mechanical pieces, called the beta part, actually has a small mistake in the description. Quote, beta part, leftover parts from a destroyed Neocortex Deathbot. Now, I double checked this with a few friends of mine and did my own research. There is no such thing as a Neocortex Deathbot. The only Deathbot in the series was from the Evil Twins bot, which was the final boss in Twinsanity. So we got yet another little Twinsanity reference that seems to have been mixed up. Lore-wise, either or, it's still a nice detail. Now, we also got two regular Crash villains, Embryo and Dingo Elf. I refuse to say that that's Dingodile. No way. Anyway, they both are sporting different looks from what we normally see from the Insane Trilogy and CTR. Embryo has a muscle shirt and shorts that kind of makes him look like a wrestler. And Dingobile looks like he was beaten to death with an ugly stick. Now, what's interesting is that the game plays with the idea that there is a multiverse of enemies. This goes down a deep rabbit hole of lore, but I'm going to try and keep it simple. There's an infinite amount of universes, each with a different versions of each character. This is why later in the game, there is a Frost Scorporilla, Frost Embryo, and Frost Dingopile. They are from different dimensions. Will this be a plot that's used in future Crash games? I doubt it, but of course, it's possible. I just hope that we can send Dingo Kyle back to his own dimension permanently. Now, what I've been saying from the beginning of time, okay, maybe a bit of an exaggeration, but that the next Crash game would be made in the Unreal Engine. The next Crash game could look and have aesthetics of Spyro Reignited. Even though Crash Bandicoot Mobile is made on Unity, the game's art direction is very similar to Spyro's. To add more fuel to this fire, get it? Spyro, fire. Anyway, if you look at Coco's design, she looks very much like she was done by Nicholas Cole, one of the main artists for Reignited, and is most known for his designs of numerous dragons, Sparks, Allura, Bianca, Hunter, and of course, most importantly, Spyro's final design. This idea is also fed by the fact that we saw Crash Bandicoot concept art at Toys for Bob. We know that Vicarious Visions and Toys for Bob work in tandem together with all their projects, but with Toys for Bob seemingly leading possibly the art department, Crash might be looking a bit different in 2020. Is there anything that you think I missed? Let me know in the comment section below. A huge thank you to all those who support the channel through Patreon and being a sponsor on the channel. If you'd like to help it out, check out the links in the description below, where you can buy some CGE merch or become a Patreon. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more gaming and nostalgic content. Thank you so much everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next video.